Anal Violence, not one to pass up an opportunity, said, I saw the news about the No King's arrest and I can only discuss one of the VTubers for obvious reasons. I decided to clear the air on how I personally feel about her. I'm going to turn off quote retweets and comments as I don't have anything else to say. I respect disagreement on this. I hope people understand where I'm coming from and the importance of the distinction in the goals and aims of a creator. Shock jock content versus content aiming for political evangelism and conversion. You don't have to agree with my take. I just ask you to keep in mind we have the same goals. So the way this is worded, I'm assuming when I open this Vice article, it's going to be a glowing recommendation of Pipkin Pippa. Much like this fantastical degenerate shooter tried having allegiances with the two of us. That's interesting. That's going to be very interesting. Your mom and dad now know what a VTuber is thanks to this arrest, maybe sorta. It's not Pipkin Pippa's fault. Before I reported on VTubing for Vice, I reported on it for the Mary Sue. One of my very first VTuber shoutouts in the press was in an article about the coffin of Andy and Lele. Back in 2023, I gushed about my favorite Let's Plays for the game, performed by a talented VTuber who turned me into a die-hard Nemle fan. In my mind, Ashley Graves is synonymous with this VTuber's performance of her. If you want the coffin of Andy and Lele voice acted, the best way to enjoy it is through, and this is a link to Pippa's playthrough, this fucking slimy piece of shit. I wonder if they know that I'm the one that got Pippa to play that. I wonder if they know that their favorite playthrough of that game only exists because of me. That's interesting. Very interesting, Anal Violence. Why can't you just leave VTubing alone? Whose voice acting skills did I fall in love with? A popular rabbit-themed VTuber named Pipkin Pippa. And now that I've uttered the words Pipkin Pippa, I must state the magic spell that protects me from the internet. The following article, while reflecting facts reported by other news outlets, is based entirely on my own personal opinion as a VTuber and VTuber fan. You're too fucking stupid to know what's good for you. I don't know what that's a quote from. I first learned about Pippa and her edgy sense of humor all the way back in 2022, when my Valorant friends began sharing Pippa clips and highlight reels with me, such as this viral post from 2024 or clips from her playthrough of Class of 09, one of our favorite games. I'm the only reason any VTubers played that game, brother, Mr. Anal Violence. That's very interesting. What an interesting article this man has decided to write.
Flashback.
I was trying to convince Pippa to play the first game as well. And she said she would play it if I yicked. If I played the fucking yick game. So I might have to try and find time to put yick on my list of games so I can force Pippa to experience this game.
End of flashback.
Or the duality of Pipkin Pippa YouTube video, which basically captures Pippa in a nutshell. Unironically, during one of the darkest moments in my life, Pippa's explanation for why you shouldn't take your own life spoke to me. You're right, Pippa, I'm actually stupid. I wouldn't say I'm a Pippa fan, but I respect talent when I see it. And I happen to think Pippa is very talented. I hate this man. And I think anyone reading this understands this is written with just like dripping fear of what Fishman could do. They thought I was an easy target and I fought back, and they don't want any fucking Fishman nets, dude. This is the most carefully crafted knife to the gut. Yeah, this is absolutely disgusting. Kirsche prevented a 41%. True. If I hadn't gotten Pippa to play those games, we might have had another suicide statistic. I'm actually wonderful, unironically. Oh my god. Pippa, to be clear, has a very edgy sense of humor, so much so she even has a controversy section on Know Your Meme. While she's not a political VTuber, her content is definitely popular with many right-wing VTuber fans. That said, she's also popular with people who aren't right-wing. And she's popular with people who literally don't care about politics. Oh, she just like me? For real, for real? By nature of her sense of humor, there are 1,000 opinions on Pippa across VTubing. Mine, I don't agree with everything Pippa does. I absolutely think she's gone too far with some of her jokes in the past. But Pippa is the equivalent, VTuber equivalent of a shock jock, which is literally what I do, which is literally what I said in my cease and desist, you disingenuous, coom-brained, autogonophiliac fucklord. Others have tried to claim that title, but it's Pippa who is the true shock jock of VTubing. That's supposed to be a little dig there about my cease and desist, you slimy fuck. That's what she sets out to do, and that's who she is. And to that end, there's a difference between having right-wing fans and being a far-right VTuber spreading malicious beliefs. I personally believe that distinction matters. Some right-wing VTubers make me afraid, but not Pippa. She just makes me laugh. This entire paragraph is just like fucking passive-aggressive bullshit. Now that we all know about Pippa, imagine my surprise when I opened up Twitter in Bsky and saw Face Connect's poster child staring back at me because a Pippa fan was arrested. That's right, someone went to a protest, got arrested, and now Pippa's face is all over his local news. Before we go any further, if you live in the Nashville area and your parents have ever commented on that cartoon rabbit girl who screams a lot in your phone, you might want to have a frank conversation with them before they start asking you to hand over your iPhone. Honey, isn't that rabbit girl you like from your animes? Elijah Miller's Pipkin Pippa post from December 2024, Pippa's appearance in News Channel 5's coverage, went viral on Twitter and Bsky. News Channel 5 Nashville covers local news from Middle Tennessee and Southern Kentucky. Recently, the station reported on the Nashville No Kings protest over the weekend, highlighting a 19-year-old named Elijah Miller arrested for disorderly conduct. In two separate news segments posted to YouTube, the local news studio read from the teen's arrest warrant. Per the warrant, the arrested teen brandished a weapon during a planned protest. When yelling and arguing ensued, he stated that he had a gun. The defendant was holding the gun down in front of himself and letting others know in the area that he had it. The witness and others in the crowd were in fear for their safety and began running before flagging down officers. People started yelling at him and he pulled it out and stated he had a gun. No one was directly pointed at, but Miller was spitting at people. Both videos discuss the teen's long fascination with Nazis' mass murder by highlighting his Twitter account. And in between various screen grabs from the poster's social media, there she is. Pippa suddenly appears, staring right back at the viewer. In a post captioned "Things are about to happen" from December 18th, 2024, Miller posted Pippa alongside a revolver and a book labeled "Democracy, the God That Failed." According to Mises Institute's Connor Mortal, the book lays out the case that private ownership of government, monarchy, is preferable to the democratic government we are familiar with today. You know, I find this really interesting. I find this really interesting that Anal Violence pushed out an article on this so incredibly quickly, and it's a glowing endorsement of Pippa, someone I am best friends with, someone that Anna would not have good opinions of normally, and yet this guy that had Pippa and I associated with his Twitter profile only had me associated with his profile after Anal Violence's hit pieces on me went up. That's very interesting. That's very interesting that Anal Violence would seize on this opportunity when they know they can't talk about me. It's kind of like a throwing under the bus tactic. I'm glowing ever so slightly harder. I wonder if Anal Violence had any communications with this weird autistic freak that I just reported to the FBI. I wonder what the connection here is, Mr. Anal Violence. Pippa being based to camp has done irrevocable damage to her reputation, unironically, to where these people believe she's just edgy bunny when she's actually really sweet when she's not being soon. She's never been a political streamer. These are just people that watch clips, which is why I said anyone trying to paint this guy as either a fan of myself or her are doing so incredibly disingenuously. Don't do this if you're a fan of a creator. Don't do this if you're a fan of a creator. It makes you look really fucking stupid, and more importantly, it drags down their image. Is this, There's a cabal of, capeopleists that I'm sure would be very much willing to, throw me under the bus for this as well. You know, it's in their best interest to, defend one, but make the other look more guilty. That's very interesting. I'm noticing. I'm noticing names of people. I'm noticing. Interesting. Why does this person follow my alt account? That's also interesting. I'm fucking glowing, man. I'm fucking glowing like the sun. That's interesting that this person's tweet from that cabal of people who very much hate me ended up in an Anal Violence article. That's very interesting. Don't do this if you're a fan of a creator. Don't do this. It makes you look really fucking stupid, and more importantly, it drags down their image. I agree. I mean, they're correct. They're correct. Pippa's appearance in news coverage around a political arrest obviously turned some heads in VTubing. Over on Twitter, one user shared a screen grab from the news report with the shotgun inscribed Pipkin Pippa, warning, don't do this if you're a fan of a creator, as it drags down their image. Another suggested this was Pippa's PewDiePie moment, referencing the Christchurch mosque shooter who said, subscribe to PewDiePie meme on livestream before carrying out the mass shooting. A third poster shared the news report of Pippa's image and responded the exact same way I did IRL. This is not fucking real. Oh my god. True. You may not be a detective, but how is it possible that they may be tied together somehow? Kapipi here, you would never throw me under the bus? That's fine. Like I said, there's a specific cabal of Kapipis that like to gay circle jerk over how much of a terrible person I am. and they spread quite a lot of lies, and it's very obnoxious. Because you would think even if you detest the kind of content I do, you wouldn't publicly try to lie about a good friend of someone you claim to like. And that's why when people do that shit to Pippa in my community, I fucking ban them. Because I will not have people defaming and lying about my friend. While Twitter seemed bewildered, Bsky was angered. In a viral Bsky post, one user shared the Pippa revolver and shotgun images, noting it was what happens when you appeal to the alt-right crowds under the guise of, it's just a joke, guys. Another found Miller's status as a Pippa fan completely unsurprising. A third simply concluded it was only a matter of time. And this is what happens when misinformation is allowed to fester. Right? This is what happens when you go around, I don't know, claiming a certain VTuber idolizes Anders Breivik when that never fucking happened. You convince a whole bunch of people that someone is something that they're not. And the lie has, gone around the world a million times before the truth can even get its shoes on. Like, these people will just believe absolutely anything if it reinforces their weird mindset. Bsky users following Pippa's news appearance almost universally believed Miller was reflective of Pippa's fanbase, but this sentiment wasn't confined to Bsky. On Twitter, some came to the same conclusion, suggesting that Pippa's community deserves scrutiny. Meanwhile, the community definitely does. Pippa herself, no. Meanwhile, a poster on Reddit, our virtual YouTuber, simply called Miller the least deranged Pippa fan. A mod on the subreddit described the circumstance as a cautionary tale on indulging potentially deranged fans. This will cause a violent video games causes violence, but VTuber flavored, one Redditor asked in the post comments. Do you really want to explain all this to your mom and dad? Regardless of how you feel about Pippa, her fan base, and the bizarre way VTubing just intersected with larger American politics, I'd like to point readers back to my June 3rd article. More people are searching up stuff about VTubers that's good and bad. In this piece, I revealed how VTuber topic searches for the past 12 months peaked on Google during the Cinder controversy. Also warned that VTubers can leave a positive impact on the world around us, or that positive influence can be overshadowed by major VTubers getting involved in petty drama and unpopular political beefs. That was you. You started the unpopular political beef, Mr. Anal Violence. Whether you believe Miller's Pippa connection is a black swan event or something worth investigation, I think we can all agree. What happened with Miller is very bad for VTubing. No, it's not. It has nothing to do with VTubing. He was never a Pippa fan. He never watched Pippa. He was never a fan of mine. He never watched my content. Or otherwise he would know he's someone I diametrically fucking hate. He would not be welcome here. It certainly overshadows a lot of the good happening in the space right now. Pippa isn't responsible for some far-right teenager waving a gun around. That's a leap to call him far-right, considering how schizophrenic his supposed beliefs are. He's literally just fucking mentally ill. She didn't tell the kid to get aggro at a No Kings protest in Nashville, nor did she tell him to arm himself. Scratch the name Pipkin Pippa in a shotgun and read a book popular with Curtis Yarvin. I don't even know who Curtis Yarvin is. Pippa's sense of humor is edgy, but she's no pundit. She's a shock jock. She's not preaching political talking points directly to her audience. Pippa's having a PewDiePie moment at someone else. I want to reiterate, this is outside world's first impression of VTubing. I really doubt that it is. And the fact that you're trying to push it as such is crazy. Did we all forget that Gura did stuff in baseball? Are we all just forgetting about that? Meanwhile, they hint that you somehow did. Oh, absolutely. The more that they hint that Pippa had nothing to do with this, but Kirsche did, the more I feel like they had some involvement in this. Because again, the only mentions of me from this fucking freak are after all of these articles published by Anal Violence. Like, that's very fucking suspicious. I want to reiterate, this is the outside world's first impression of VTubing, and it's not a great look. Yeah, fuck the normies, they don't get it, we're not all like this, I agree, but sponsors, businesses, academics, they're all going to start asking. Really? It's just like all of your hit pieces? It's just like all of your hit pieces on me? I was like, oh, all of these sponsors and businesses, they're going to start asking questions, and Kirsche's picture just happened to be on his profile. You can't say my name, but we all know what you're saying. That's very interesting. What's the deal with this VTubing thing anyways? Why is there so much controversy around it and politics? There's not. There really isn't. And that's not a question you want to be asked, as it comes with risk. Risk like decreasing sponsorship spending. Risks like businesses deeming your industry unstable and prone to politically extreme viewers. It takes one bad event to damage a budding industry. The PewDiePie event didn't irreparably damage streamers in general. like trying to equivalate this to like, if you don't cut out these bad actors that I think are bad people, then it's going to be problematic for you. Like, come the fuck on. Now is a good opportunity to look around the VTubing space at large and ask, well, what's going on here? What's up? Because I don't think the problem is Pippa. She's just a comedian. But the industry around Pippa, well, that thing allows bad actors to hang out in fan bases and communities and conventions across the industry. Like Offkai staff being incredibly political and doing terrible things to VTubers, not just myself, hiring volunteers that will go on to dox those VTubers and stalk them around. What about those people? The thing that allows bad actors to hang out in fan bases? Certainly not mine, because I ban people if they bring any kind of politics to anyone else who's not political. I would love to know. So subtle. And trust me, weirdos are going to keep popping up, with other Oshi's names scribbled on their own rifles or whatever, I'm sure. And if that doesn't convince you, do you really want to have that awkward conversation with mom and dad about your Oshi in the news? Yeah, probably not. If someone ever weirdly scribbled my name on a rifle and tried to commit any kind of mass violence, that would be a deranged individual that I would not only be angry at them using my name in an act of violence, but they would not be someone I would count as a part of my community. They would be a deranged individual who should get the entire fucking legal book thrown at them for trying to physically harm other people. Guy strikes you as someone who wants all of this to happen, if only in the deluded hope that he'll be the one who gets to act as the bridge between VTubers and normies, so he can reframe an entire industry however he wants. It's completely delusional. Yeah, I mean, anal violence has been completely delusional since they started writing articles, but it's like, you know they were just positively fucking giddy at the chance to write this article. And it's incredibly funny that, like, all of the things they love about Pippa happened because I told her to play those games. And we have been best friends for a very long time. You're a grown man with your own house and your own life. Why would your parents be concerned? I don't know. I guess anal violence is trying to think that, like, we have a childish audience for some reason. It's real fucking weird. It's real fucking weird.